Hi, children. I've got another story for you today. This one is called Pingu, the Doctor. Now, this is out of the BBC network, and I have to tell you, I didn't find the name of the author, but it is from a television series, so it probably has more than one author. And it's called Pingu, the Doctor. And my computer just had a pop up because it likes to do those things and make noise and interrupt us. Let's get busy listening to this story. Hello, Elena, Mark, Ty, anybody else that might be listening. Xavier, Lily, Darian, Aiden, all of you beautiful children. I hope that you're having a wonderful Sunday. Pinga was in hospital with a broken arm. Pingu and Mum were on their way to visit her. As they approached the hospital entrance, an ambulance whizzed past. That penguin doesn't look so well, said Mum, shaking her head. Did you know in Britain they don't say mom, they say mum? We all do things a little differently. At the reception desk, Mom asked for Pinga. The nurse behind the desk looked Pinga's name up in a book to find out which room she was in. Here we go. So it isn't Pingu who's in the hospital, it's Pinga. You see? Have you ever seen that television show before? It's pretty cute. I have quite a few of their books. Pingu stared at everything around him and began to feel uncomfortable. He didn't like the look of the wheelchairs and crutches one bit. Pingu was very relieved to find Pinga sitting up in a bed. She looked the same as usual, except that she had a great big bandage on her arm. Pinga, he cried out in excitement. Here we are. Here they are. They are there to cheer up Pinga. See Pingu kind of jumping up, letting her know that they are there. There's all the kinds of equipment you might see in a hospital. It may look scary, but it's there to help people. Pinga was just as thrilled to see them. Hooray, she shouted. You've come at last. It's so boring just sitting here all day. Mum patted Pinga on the head. My poor Pinga, she said soothingly. I hope your arm doesn't hurt too much. So here we go. Here's Pinga, happy to see them. And here they are. There's Mum patting her on the head. They came to cheer her up. Pingu had drawn a picture of Pinga falling off the table, breaking her arm. He held it up for Pinga to see, and they all laughed about it. In the next bed was a penguin who had broken her foot. The nurse came in to examine her. And how are you feeling today? Asked the nurse as she peered into Penguin's mouth. So here we go. We've got Pingu drawn pictures, and they're laughing. He would do that. And here's the one with the foot being examined by the nurse. I'll have a look at your foot now, said the nurse. She moved a large screen over to hide the patient's bed. Mum and Pingu looked rather alarmed. Mum put some flowers in a vase by the side of Pinga's bed. These should brighten things up a bit, said Mum cheerfully. So here they are. Hopefully there's not too much glare. You can see the nurse pulling the screen so they have privacy when she talks to the patient. And there's Mum carrying flowers and Pingu. They came to cheer up Pinga. And there they are. She's putting flowers in a vase for Pinga. See Pinga smiling? She likes it. I want to come home, Mum, said Pinga. I miss you. And I miss you too, little Pinga, said Mum, giving her a big kiss. You'd better be very soon, and you'll be better very soon, and then you can come home. Mom gave Pingu and Pinga an apple each. While they crunched away, she stuck Pingu's picture up on the wall. There we go. There's Mom giving Pinga a kiss. And here's where she gave him an apple. And she put the picture that Pingu drew for Pinga up on the wall to cheer up Pinga. The time passed slowly. Mom had read a long story to Pinga. Pingu pushed himself round and round the room on a chair with wheels. I'm going to have to find a way to liven things up a bit, he thought to himself. Looking across at the next bed, Pingu watched as the nurse moved a huge light over. You know Pingu, he's going to find some way to get into mischief. So here he is, he's rolling around on a chair with wheels. I could see Pingu doing like that. And now he sees the nurse using a light. So you know Pingu, he's getting ideas. He's always up to mischief. When the light was switched on, Pingu could see the shadows of the nurse and the patient on the screen. Suddenly, he had an idea. As soon as the nurse had gone, Pingu swept into action. Mum and Pingu watched amazed as Pingu moved the screen in front of Pinga's bed. So they're watching through the screen. They can't see, but they can see the shadows of what's going on with the nurse and the patient in the next bed. Look at Pingu, all interested in how the light reflects onto the shadows onto the screen. Here they are. Pingu's too nosy. Behind the screen, he placed a bed with a pillow on it. Then he moved a big light from across the room. The other little penguin wondered what was going on. All Pingu needed to do was Pinga's potty, and his operations could begin. So what the nurse left the room, and what's going on is Pingu took that screen and the light and a bed and a pillow and a bucket that Pinga was going to the bathroom in, and he's got some ideas to entertain them. What do you think's going to happen? So there he is. He's setting up, and he's going to do some little play acting for them. Oh, you know Pingu, he's going to come up with something. That little bucket under the bed is what Pinga would go to the bathroom in because she couldn't get up to go to the bathroom. Suddenly, Mom and Pinga realized what was happening. Looking at the screen, they saw the shadow of a patient on a bed with Dr. Pingu standing beside him. They began to chuckle. First, Dr. Pingu examined his patient with a stethoscope. Things don't sound good, he exclaimed to himself as he listened. Now you look, they're laughing because they know Pingu's about to give them a show. And here he is behind the curtain and he's using shadows. Do you see what he did with that bucket? He's pretending like it's a head, but there's really nobody on that bed. So don't be scared. With a great flourish, Dr. Pingu produced a huge pair of scissors and began to cut open the patient's tummy. Snip, snip, snip. Pinga hooted with laughter. There he is. Snip, snip, snip. Now just remember, there's not really anybody there. Pinga is laughing away. I'm sure the other patient is too. Out of the patient's stomach, Dr. Pingu pulled a hot water bottle, a long piece of string, and then finally a large spoon and a knife. Dear, dear, he muttered to himself. Pinga, Mum, and the other little penguin were laughing so loudly that a nurse and a doctor standing outside the door heard all the commotion. What on earth is going on in there? They asked each other. There is Pingu operating on his pretend patient behind the screen. And here's the doctor and the nurse wondering what's all the laughing about. The nurse and the doctor came into the room just as Pingu was sewing up his patient's stomach. Behind the screen, Pingu was sewing up the sheet with huge, clumsy stitches. Suddenly, he heard some different voices laughing in the room. So here he is sewing up his patient. And there's Pingu. He really doesn't have a patient. He's just pretending, but he's making everybody laugh. It was the nurse and the doctor. Bravo, they shouted. You're doing fine work, doctor. And you've cheered up the other patients as well, they added, looking at Pinga's smiling face. Pingu popped his head round the screen and grinned at everyone. The show is over, he announced. There's the nurse and the doctor. They thought it was funny too and very clever of him. And here's Pingu letting them know the show is over. He did a good job. I think you should try on a real doctor's outfit now, said the doctor. So while Pingu stood on a stool, the doctor dressed him in an operating mask, a hat, and placed a stethoscope around his neck. All set for the operating room theater, Dr. Pingu, asked the nurse, and everyone laughed. They had fun at the hospital laughter hall. There they go. The doctor and the nurse are dressing up Pingu like a real doctor. That might be what you see a doctor wear when they're doing surgery. They wear those kind of hats. All right, and that is the end of the story. Did you like that one? That's Pingu at the hospital. So no reason to fear going to a hospital. Remember, the doctors and the nurses, they're just trying to help you, get you well. I hope you have a beautiful Sunday. God bless you. I love all you children. Thanks for stopping by. I hope to see you next time when we do a story. Bye-bye now.